Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. I'm Adam. This is Open Late. Doing something a little bit different today. I'm gonna be building a Lego Lightyear XL-15 spaceship. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know how this is gonna look. I don't know if this is gonna be content that anybody wants to see. But I've been sitting on this set for months and months and months. I bought it on Black Friday. Um, it was then gifted to me on for Christmas, and I just haven't had like the motivation or a reason to build it. So I thought, you know what, if I do it as a video, then it sort of gives me a reason to do it, and it forces me to sort of schedule some time to sit down and build the set. And I'll be honest, I'm really looking forward to building this set. I've heard a lot of good things about this set. As far as how this is going to work, what I'm thinking is I'll do, the box. I'll sort of, dump out the bags and sort of pull out the instruction books, take a look at all that stuff, check in with the comments, build bag one, check in with the comments, build bag two, check in with the comments. So we'll see if that works. We'll see if that kind of pace and sort of rhythm works. Because honestly, I can't think of another way to do it. It's just down to, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Um, but anyway, Jeremy says, I think we're alone. I mean, so far, there's a lot of good streams. There's a lot of good live streams going on right now. And a lot of people that I think would probably potentially be watching this are quite likely watching another stream. Ostradamus Toys and Brick Something, and Justin from Just Shelve It are all doing Mythic Legions video. So, I don't blame people for being there and not here. Like I said, I don't know how well is it going to go, or if it's just going to be a total failure. But anyway, so we get sort of the set built on the front. We get, of course, Buzz Lightyear on the front. The Disney Pixar logo, the Lego logo. 497 pieces. So I'm not anticipating that this set is going to take a terribly long to build. 8+, so I qualify. I am qualified to build this. On the side here, see, this is the thing. I don't know how to show the box because it's big, and I'm trying to get the shot where you can sort of see what's going on. Anyway, so minifigures in the set. We get Buzz Lightyear, we get Darby Steele, we get Mo Morrison, and socks. I'm pretty excited about socks, I'm not gonna lie. Then, as we often do on Lego sets, on the back of the box, we get some call outs to, like, some of the sort of features and gimmicks and stuff like that, showing the minifig, showing that it opens at the back, sort of ports open, the computer mounts in the back, and then it comes with a stand, which I think is pretty cool. Like, apart from sets like the Star Wars Ultimate Collector series and some of the, like, bigger, more adult oriented sets, I'm not really familiar with any sets that come with a stand and a little plaque. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, a cool little add. And like I said, I've heard from a number of people that this set is just fun to build and a great set. So I was pretty excited to get it, and I'm pretty excited to build it. I haven't built a Lego set in a hot minute. So the back two of the box, when you open it up, fold out the flap, it does have sort of that cool planet from the movie. I don't know what that. I don't think it was Earth, right? They crash landed somewhere. I don't know. I don't know where it was. But anyway, moving on. That part's not interesting at all. So that's the box. The box. Who cares? We get a pretty substantial book. This is like I can't remember what that's called. There's a style of binding. Like, it's not one of the ones that's just stapled together. It's thicker. It's more substantial. There's quite a few more pages. Lego has sort of gone to a lot of online instructions where, you know, I could scan this QR code and do it in sort of a PDF format. But being that I'm 40 and I've been doing this for about 35 years, I still prefer the sort of hard copy, if you will, the paper copy. And they, you know, this is one of the sets. I'll just sort of point out a couple things. You know, the evolution of Lego instruction booklets. One really cool thing that I will point out once I get there, but I mean, pretty standard. If you've ever built a Lego set, you know what you're looking at. But the new thing that they do, if you see that blue line at the bottom and you see, you know, Buzz there and there's this blue line. So that's page 1 of the instructions. As we move along, Buzz moves along in the instructions. So you have an idea. So there's, you know, about halfway at that point, and you have an idea of how much further you have to go. I don't know, you know, who that benefits or like what the point of that is, but I do like it. I think it's kind of cool that they give you an idea. I feel like that's probably more significant when you're looking at a PDF format, because in the book I'll know when I have only a couple pages left. But anyway, I'm gonna put that on my little stand that I use. It's like a little book tablet type of stand from IKEA. I think it was like $2 or $3. Like, it's dirt cheap, but it works really, really well. Actually, you know what? I've got a better one, and because that's going to be off camera anyway, I'm switching it up. Calling an audible. I also have these ones, and these stand a little bit more upright. I'll be able to see my instructions a little bit better if I use this one. In theory. Probably not, though. One sticker sheet, which isn't the end of the world. I don't mind stickers with Lego sets. That's not a lot of stickers, if I'm being perfectly honest. Although, a lot of these I feel like could have been printed. But, you know, there's always this sort of debate about, you know, how many printed pieces versus how many stickers, so on and so forth. You know, it's a price thing, largely. You know, if they give me a sticker sheet that I got to put on myself, it's okay. When it's like tons of stickers, it's annoying. When it's a few stickers like that, I'm not that fussed. So we've got 5 bags. The other thing that I think is going to be interesting is that I bet everybody builds their Lego sets differently. I've honestly never watched, like, I know that there's like Twitch streamers and people that do build Lego sets, and I honestly just don't have the time to watch something like that. And I'm always curious how people build their Lego sets, because I build mine a particular way. I'll get into more detail when we sort of get there. But this, for example, I pull out all the bags, I flatten them all out, I line them all up. And then I sort of set them up in such a way that I can just sort of pull the next bag. So today I'm going to set them up sort of off camera, and I get really nitpicky, like because the way I'm going to set them up. Here, I'll show you how I'm going to set them up so that this makes sense. I'm going to set them up sort of leaning on top of each other. So I'm going to get all the bricks at the bottom so that they all sit really nicely. And then I just pull. It's kind of one of those things where, like, it's part of the process for me. You know, setting up my instructions, checking all the bags, checking everything out, getting a feel for what's going to be in which bag, what's coming up, all that kind of stuff. There's another, like, okay, so there's another really specific thing that I do when I build Lego sets. And as soon as I start building, I'll explain. And I'm just curious if other people do this, or if this is just something that, like, my obsessive compulsiveness. I don't have OCD. Let's be very clear. I don't have that. And when people say that, I know that it offends people that do. But we all have our little ticks, our little tendencies. Normally, I also, when there's these smaller bags, I normally put this into like a Ziploc, like container. But for the sake of the visual, I'm not going to do that, because I think it would just look weird to have little bowls everywhere with pieces. So I'll spare you from that. But I will do what I normally do, which is sort of arrange and organize the pieces in each bag, because it's just that much quicker to identify them in the instructions and grab them as I'm going. And maybe this is something that people do. Maybe it's something that people don't do. It's just, like I said, like, it's just one of those things where I've been doing it for so long that it's part of the process. I don't get too crazy. Like, you can see what I'm doing. I'm not really, like, I'm just separating most things by color and getting sort of an idea of what's in the bag, and then away I will go. I hope that the audio is okay in terms of the balance of my voice and the Lego sort of overpowering. Let me know in the comments there. There's socks, adorable little socks. I think they could have done his eyes better, but I guess that's like Lego eyes, so it's not too bad. Put little socks there. I'll do the minifigures right along there so that you can see them while I'm building. Like I said, I don't go crazy. Like, I'm not gonna like line them up all, like, you know what I mean. Bunch of Buzz Lightyear parts there. Then in the small parts, I think there's going to be one more piece for Buzz, two more pieces for Buzz. Small parts, I don't go through the same process because they're too small. It's a pain in the butt. So I just kind of make sure that I have enough room. And I've already dropped something. Dang it. Got it. Small parts, like I said, normally they just go in a little bin, and I don't really worry about them too much. I just, you just need to be mindful that if you're just doing it like this, that they can fall off a table, which is why I put them in a container. But anyway, enough about that boring stuff. So the first minifigure that we get is Buzz Lightyear in his little space suit, not the green and white Buzz Lightyear that we sort of know and love from Toy Story, but the Buzz Lightyear, the test pilot, which is still a pretty cool figure. I'm depending on how much I like this set, I may or may not get the set that has like his green suit. For heads, and I'll just show these because I can only sort of put one on the figure at a time, and I know which one I'm putting on. You get two faces, so you get his sort of determined expression there, as well as his arrogant is the wrong word, but I think you know what I mean. Anyway, and then we get his little hair piece. which is not a terribly common hairpiece as far as, well, I mean, I buy mostly Star Wars sets, so I guess in Star Wars it's not common. It's probably common everywhere else. He does have, and I don't know if this is gonna, I don't know if it's gonna pick it up. He does have his little chin dimple. You could just barely see that little brown dot. I thought there was a little fleck of paint or something on there, but I think it's his little chin dimple, which is a pretty cool little detail to add. Then we get another head, which is his sort of hooded head, I guess, like his Space Ranger hooded head, with some printed detail on the front and back. And he also has the chin dimple in this. That's the one that I'm going to use because he's the pilot of a spaceship. We get a helmet that I am not familiar with. This is the first time I've had this helmet. It's a two-tone helmet, so it's two colors of plastic injected. Some detail on the chin sort of bar there. That's a nice looking piece. That's a nice looking helmet. I don't like I said, because I do mostly Star Wars, I'm not familiar with this helmet. Now it might exist in other lines, but it's a good looking minifigure. It's a really good looking minifigure. A lot of great printing. He kind of reminds me of like an X-Wing pilot, but that's probably just because he's in an orange jumpsuit with straps and stuff like that. Then he comes with this little kind of blaster piece gun thing, which is a piece that I've never seen before either. So this is I haven't been collecting nearly as much Lego as I did in the past, over the last year and a half or so. So there may be pieces in here that I've never seen, techniques that I've never sort of seen. But yeah, let's get right into it. Before I do, I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Sam Rock is here. Payne's Toy Samples is here. Quip, you're... did I do it right? Is that how... Is it supposed to sound like that? Did that sound like a guy in middle of nowhere, Canada, trying to say it correctly? Quip said that head looks like a Silverhawk. It kind of does, actually. Kind of does have that feel. You know, and because it doesn't have any sculpt, right? Like it does kind of look like that's his skin or whatever. But it's it looks good. There it is, Quip. Thank you. You didn't lead with that, so I didn't realize it was you until I sort of clicked on it. your was spot on. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I try. Sam Rock says, I just follow what the instructions say when I build a Lego set. So do I. I just, you know, there's, you know, I do build some, you know, some custom stuff, some like, you know, whatever, you know, like I play around with my Lego. I got tons of Lego, and tons of sets that I've taken apart and will never build again. So that just goes into sort of like a, you know, bins and bins and bins and drawers of pieces. Payne says, my fingers are gonna hurt just watching this. Your fingers are gonna hurt. You're doing it wrong if your fingers hurt building Lego, my friend. You know, that's where this thing comes in. That's where this, you know, the brick separator is your friend. Anyway, moving on. Let's get into the build. First things first, we're going to build some of these little bits that that I imagine are going to sort of go inside the ship. And I'm already not doing it because I wasn't, and as soon as I started, I realized that I wasn't doing it, and now I got to go back. So this is why Lego sets take me a long time to build. But thankfully I've got enough lights on in here right now, like more than I normally would while I was building a Lego set. So it's not going to be that hard. It's not going to be that difficult. On top of every Lego brick, and that one's not going to be a good one to show because it's not going to show up. On top of every Lego brick, they print Lego on the top. You see that, like on top of each of those little studs, you can sort of see it. Yeah, there you can see it, right? It says Lego on the top of each of those studs. When I build a Lego set, I am compelled to line those up on the pieces. So I can't just put two pieces together. Oh no. I have to align that logo so that all the pieces line up. And I have like a way that I do it. I'm not going to mention it again. Now that I've mentioned it once, you'll sort of see me like arranging pieces and like looking at a piece, and it seems like I'm like stroking out or something and just like gone brain dead for a moment. It's that I'm actually looking at the Lego logo on the top of the stud. And I have no idea if anybody else does that. I've never sort of spoken to anybody that has mentioned that. And sometimes you can't do it, like I'm looking at this piece here and this piece here, and there's a printed piece and sort of an asymmetrical piece, and there's nothing you can do. The keyboard has to go on the way that it has to go on. That's the way that this goes on. So I don't like freak out when that happens. But whenever possible, I do them in sort of a matching way. The other thing is let's say like the back of the ship is here and the front of the ship is here. I try to do it so that all the logos sort of face the front. And I also do the logos so that they face that way, given the choice. You're not always given the choice. Like I said, like with, here's an example. Depending on where these pieces go on the ship, like they're asymmetrical and they're angled. So I can't necessarily get them all to line up, but whenever possible, I do. That's the weirdest thing about how I build Lego. But it's probably not the weirdest thing about me. Decals, again, getting back to decals. There's being somebody that also builds Gundam model kits, I apply my decals with my like Gundam model decal tweezers so that I can get as good as possible a placement of the decal. It also means that I don't get fingerprints all over the decal and potentially like make it so that it doesn't stick properly. All right, I got to do this behind the camera because I got to get up close. And anybody that has tuned in before, I mentioned, and I am not having an easy go with this one. And I'll explain why in a second once I get it on. Let's get it on. Come on, let's get it on. There we go, that'll do. Okay, so if you've tuned in before and watched me unbox things live, I mentioned that I have a condition, I guess is what it's called. Appropriately called essential tremor. My hands shake. So when I was trying to get this decal on, my hand was not cooperating. So when you gotta get something on and both your hands are shaky and you gotta line it up as well as you can, it's not easy. Another reason that it takes me forever to do decals and to build Lego. But it is what it is. I don't think that looks too bad. I think that's fairly straight. Once you put enough decals on too, you kind of get a knack for like how much tolerance Lego allows to sort of align a piece. And as long as it's a square, it's easy. It's once you get like, there's decals in here for the tail fins, I think, and that's going to be a pain in the butt because those are often a little bit harder to sort of get them just right. But anyway, all right, let's get into it here. So here's where it takes longer, right? Because I'm now looking at this piece. I'm trying to figure out which way, you know, the logos are. I can see that it's this way, but now I have to look at the instructions and make sure that I'm aligning the piece correctly. I need to know what the front of the ship is, what the back of the ship is, so that when I build this, as long as I have a base to start with, it's easy peasy, because I just use that as the sort of the reference, the central piece, and then from there I can usually go pretty quick, as long as I can see the logos. Some are easier than others. Some are harder than others. Again, like I said, the asymmetrical pieces I don't worry about, because they got to go on the way that they go on. There's nothing I can do about it. Which is, I think, where the like, you know, if I really had OCD, that might not be the case. I might just not build Lego if I actually have OCD. Sometimes, if I'm really feeling keen, I'll actually line the pieces up with the logos before I start, so that when I pick them up, it's that much quicker. I don't do that very often. That's when I'm like, that's when I have like 6 hours to build a set. But I'm already 30 minutes in and I haven't built anything. So I should probably pick up the pace. Shut up. Also left the music on at a pretty low volume, just so that when I'm not talking at all, at least it won't be like totally silent. It's odd too, doing this for the first time with the setup, which is sort of right in my field of view. So I'm kind of like peeking around the camera and just trying to, you know, navigate the build. And I'm rushing and I'm doing things out of order, and yeah, it's weird. I'm gonna have to get used to this if I decide to do more than one of these. This may be the only one that I do, if I'm being honest. We'll see how it goes. It's not terrible, but it's weird, man. It's weird. I know that like other people do this. It just I'd never even sort of thought about it until I had this set lying around. I kept moving it around my office. Don't worry, I'm lining up my logos. I had this set just in my office sitting, and I would move it and I would move it and I would move it, and it would find a new home, and I'd move it again. And I'm unboxing all this stuff and, you know, hanging out and chatting with you guys, and it just never occurred to me that, you know, this is something that I could open and build and hang out and chat. And if there's anything that you guys want to chat about in the comments there that is not Lego related, but related to, like, you know, other stuff that I talk about, feel free to comment in there. And when I'm done this bag, basically what's sort of the pieces that are out here, I'm happy to sort of chat about non-Lego stuff, or if you have Lego questions. Lego was my gateway back into toys. It was sort of the first thing that I got back into, and it was when I was you know, going to when my wife was pregnant with our first child. We were going to Toys R Us. I am in Canada, so we still have Toys R Us. But we were going to Toys R Us regularly, and I would see the Lego sets all the time, and they just looked so cool, and they were so much crazier in terms of design and stuff than anything that I'd ever had as a kid. And I kind of bought one set thinking like, oh, I'll get one, it'll be cool, we'll see. And then I bought another one, and then I bought another one, and now I have like way too many. And yeah, I when we built a house, on the plans actually said Lego room for the room that I'm sitting in now. My office was it. What it didn't say office. It actually said Lego room on the blueprints. So I have I've since filled this room with tons of other stuff, but I've been doing less Lego. Like I said, I've been doing more action figures, which you kind of already know if if you're here watching me do this. You've probably watched me unbox tons of other stuff before. But Lego and Gundam models are incredibly relaxing, for me at least. I know that there's people that get anxiety from it, and sore fingers too. Who was it that said sore fingers? Payne's Toy Samples, I think, was that. Yeah, Payne's Toy Samples. Yeah, it's nice, to just sit for a minute, and you kind of have to concentrate. Like I'll put on, if I wasn't doing the video, I'd probably put on something like Bad Batch or The Office or something that I've like already seen, and just sort of have some background noise, and just spend some time hanging out, building Lego. So one by one round pieces that have logos, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but that has a Lego logo on it. I have to line that up still too, and it's surprisingly hard in some cases to line them up well. So I do it well enough. But anyway, it's weird. I get that that's a weird sort of habit, but that's part of it. Like I said, that's sort of part of the process for me, and that's it's not good or bad. It's just different. It's just the way that I do it. You certainly don't need to do it that way. Once the thing's built, you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know whether somebody built it that way or not, because most of the bricks you can't see anyway. So it's a waste of energy. But it's the instructions say this side first. But it's the way that I do it. So if you guys build Lego, do you guys do that? Do you have any weird habits? Any like weird Lego building habits? Is it just me? I'm very curious. Like I said, I don't talk Lego that much. Most of the people that I chat with typically, we're chatting about action figures. We're talking about G.I. Joe, or we're talking about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, or we're talking about Mythic Legions, or whatever. Need a couple decals to put on here. See how well these go. So essential tremor, you can manage is the wrong word because it's not a practical solution. But alcohol is helps stabilize my hands, believe it or not. But it's not an incredibly healthy way to manage it. So on a day like today, where I didn't drink much, my hands, well, I don't know if you can see it or not. Hopefully in the 720p you can't really you can't really tell how shaky my hands are. It comes and goes, like it's weird, but it is what it is. Sometimes if I sort of get the angles all right, I can kind of just negate it, but it's not bad. The good news is I've had plenty of experience doing it like this, and you know, years and years and decal upon decal upon decal. I just, patience pays off. You rush through it and you just slap the decals on. They're not going to stick properly. They're going to be crooked. You're going to have to look at it later and feel a sense of shame for, for what you've done. This is another thing. Like with each step, they tell you which pieces are going to be in that step. And I tend to pull the pieces before I do the step. That way I don't miss anything, because it's super easy to miss something when you're just rushing through and not sort of allocating the pieces out for each step. This blue color is really nice. Really nice color. That was part of the appeal of the ship too for me, is the color palette. So all right, let's see what do we got. That's gonna go there. All right, nearly done this bag, and then, like I said, I'll check in the comments and see what people are chatting about. Is this at all interesting? Is this or is this just super boring watching somebody else build Lego? I don't know. Let me know. Maybe the question is, is there a set or a style or something that people would like to see built? Okay, I have either missed something. What's going on here? I got all these pieces that I haven't done anything with, but I didn't see them come up. And it's probably in a step where I skipped something. Oh, it's because I wasn't paying attention at the beginning. Hold on. All right, so the way it's going to work is that one of each of these is going to be a spare, because they always are. So this I completely built wrong. It's going to be two of those. Those are spares. So there's your spare. That's your spare pieces. Every like 1 by 1 typically has a spare, and this I built wrong because I wasn't paying attention right from the get-go. Thankfully, it wasn't like something in the middle of the build. Otherwise, I would have probably just canceled the stream and been like, all right, that's it. That's all. I'm going home. Well, I'm already home, but. All right, there. So now that's built properly. I had it completely wrong. Which is cool. Actually, this is kind of cool because it's like you build it upside down, basically, so that it's smooth on, it's smooth on the bottom, without any, if they built it right side up, it would have had that. But instead, they've got, a 1x1 tile on the top, which is in effect the bottom, and then they put the handle. That's cool. It's little things like that that make kind of modern Lego sets like really, like, this is not the same. Like, if you built a set when you were a kid and you're my age, 40, it's a completely different ball game now. Like, even the simple sets are way harder. But anyway, that's bag one. I will leave that there. I'll check in the comments. What's going on? Sam Rock said, "Do you have any of the Lego Star Wars helmets?" I don't. For me, it's got to be minifigure scaled stuff. So, like, I don't like the micro scale stuff. I'm not even a huge fan of the UCS Star Wars stuff unless it fits figures. I did get the UCS Millennium Falcon, which is like way too big to put anywhere. But like the Star Destroyers and stuff like that just don't work for me because they're not minifigure scaled. I grew up, building. Before Star Wars Lego existed, I was building X-Wings with the Lego that I had. They looked like trash, but I loved them. And I always sort of worked and built and played in minifigure scale. So stuff like the helmets and some of the UCS sets, it's a little bit like, in G.I. Joe terms, right? It's like that RC car that Hasbro did a year ago or 2 years ago, where like you can't put figures in it, so what's the point? Something like that just doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't. I'm building these things to sort of play with and to sort of zoom around and swoosh around, and so it's got to be minifigure scale, and the helmets aren't, and they're not human scale either, so they're just kind of a weird display piece. Which is cool. I mean, they look great, but just not something I'm into. Quip said, "New compulsion unlocked." That had never crossed my mind. What have you done to me? Well, you'll never think about putting your Lego set together the same way again. Quip said, "When my daughter was really little, my wife and I used to go to Toys R Us and pick out 2 Lego sets to build for an in-home date night." That's pretty cool. I've bought my wife a couple Lego sets. She's not that big into it, but I did buy her that Lego Disney Castle, like that really big one, and she had a great time building it. It took her a long time too. Like, she took her time, and like, not that she was a slow builder, but she enjoyed the process. She just doesn't have room for big Lego sets. I think that one's sitting on our dresser in her bedroom. Quip said, "It's interesting. I dig it." Thank you. I appreciate that. Adventures with Lennox, which is a new name in the chat, says, "Hi, good job building." Thank you. Quip, fuel source. Well, there you go. That's oh, right. That's the little, yeah. That's the formula that he has to work on, and it takes them forever to get it right. Adventures with Lennox asks, "I wonder how big your collection is." It's not as big as a lot of people's collections. I have a humble Lego collection by the standards of a lot of like really hardcore guys that I know. Like I said, I typically only do Lego sets, and you know, for a few years I was doing all of them, and I was buying, you know, an extra set. And then when there was like um when stuff would go on clearance, you know, for Black Friday, or, you know, Walmart would clear out some sets, I would pick up extra sets for parts and stuff like that. Um but I don't have like, you know, you see guys that have like a wall of bins and everything sorted, like meticulously sorted. I don't even have so much that I need to meticulously sort all my pieces. I have no idea how many pieces I have, or sets. But the answer is probably too many. But like I said, I've been kind of slowing down. I've been slowing down a little bit as far as like purchasing new Lego, because I got to the point where there are very few pieces now that I don't have. And so because Lego sort of allows the instruction PDFs to be published, you can kind of just build any Lego set that you want with pieces that you have at home. You don't necessarily need the sets. Now you'll get minifigures that are exclusive to sets, and like impossible to find if you don't buy the set and stuff like that. So every once in a while there's a set that like I just need to get a figure, or to get whatever. Again, because I just love minifigures. When there's promos where you get like a free minifigure, like I'll buy Lego that I don't need just to get like the free minifigure that's not even related to the set, kind of thing, or whatever. The weird exception to my like Star Wars focus is the architecture sets, like for the cities, where they have like, you know, small scale versions of the cities. I'm into those, just because I'm kind of into architecture. But I think they're kind of done with that line. So that's good news for me, because I don't have to buy them if they don't make them. Bag 2, away we go. No minifigures in the second bag. So it's straight to build, which is kind of nice. You know, it's when my kids build with me, all they want to do is build the minifigures. They every once in a while they'll be like, "Dad, can you build me this set tonight so that I can play with it tomorrow?" And I'm like, "All right, if that's the way you want to do it." But I also know that they still want to build the minifigure, or minifigures if there's multiple. So I leave the minifigure parts out so that they can build those when they get up in the morning to play with the set. You got to start somewhere, right? If they didn't even want to do the minifigures and they didn't want to play with it, that would be different. But my kids do enjoy. They enjoy the Disney stuff, so I enjoy buying it for them. Oh, so this is the case. Remember I was saying with the logos. So this is going to be the nose, right? So the logos for this piece have to go this way. It's not by accident. Everything is built, you know, the purposefully, and sometimes frustratingly so, because sometimes pieces are really, it's like there's some pieces that it's really hard to identify the direction of the logo. What's a good example? This is not a good example, but it is an example that I can show. The logo is like printed inside. You can sort of see where it is there, but unless you get the right light, you know, you can't always tell which way it is. It goes this way, but just saying. Oh, and I need that piece next. I shouldn't have put it down, because now I gotta find it again. There we go. And like I said, it doesn't make the set better. It does like it doesn't matter. No one. I think the only person that's ever going to look at that is me, and the only and you know, if there is somebody else in the world that does it like that, that builds like that, they might notice it if they were ever to um, look that closely at sets on my shelf. But like I said, no one's ever coming here to look at these sets, so it's not like it matters to anybody else in the world ever. Now, here's the question for you guys watching. Would you like to be able to see the instructions as I'm going through it? Or do you care? I don't know. I just thought it was like not that interesting to see the instructions, so I just sort of set them up there. I could get a different shot where you could see it, but I just thought you get a tighter shot on what I'm building if I don't show the instructions. For anybody that is tuning in late, I'm not pausing for effect. I'm looking at the Lego on the stud to make sure that it is aligned the way that I want it to be. As like as straightforward as most of this build has been so far, you know, it's just sort of stacking things on. There hasn't been anything weird or sort of oddly angled or anything like that. It's a nice build. Like there's a lot of good sort of textures being built up slowly that you know, that are, I think, going to look really, really good on the completed set. All right, and we get a first, that's our first printed piece. So this is sort of his like navigation display there. A question for you guys watching: do you guys are you Lego enthusiasts? Are you Lego builders yourselves, or is this just are you just watching me build Lego because I'm not unboxing an action figure? All right. That's not right. What have I done? I did it backwards. Brick separator. There you go. They come in handy. If you're building a Lego set, you should always have one of these with you. You don't have to use your fingers or your teeth or whatever. All right, nearly done book bag 2, and then I'll check in the comments there. Like I said, I'm happy to chat non-Lego stuff too if anybody wants to. Just because I'm building Lego doesn't mean that's the only thing I can talk about. Won't like distract me or anything. That's gonna be a spare. All right, what are we looking at here? This piece is hard to identify the you got it, like you gotta just catch the light just right, because there's words printed on 3 of the 4 sides, and it's gotta be just the right piece. It's gotta be the right angle. It's gotta be. Okay, that's bag two done. Quiff said, "I'm a casual Lego fan. They've come out with some amazing sets as of late, but those price tags are way up there." Yeah, you're absolutely right. Um, the like the price per brick and stuff like that is getting pretty outrageous. Jeremy says this is the worst the word it says the word, but I'm pretty sure what you mean is this is the worst ASMR video I've ever seen. Well, it's probably the best ASMR video that I'm ever gonna do. So, all right, bag three. Try to roll through these a little bit quicker now, because we're already at freaking hour, and Jeremy's getting bored. I mean, I assume that people are like leaving and then coming back. I don't think anybody's gonna sit through this whole thing, but maybe this would be like one of those videos that, like, you know, people watch at work or like while they're doing something else, because I would be bored watching myself do this. Yeah. Which is to say thank you for hanging out and wasting a perfectly good Saturday evening watching me do this. All right, so one thing I will mention, and this is something that like is definitely a new-ish thing, and I can't say this with any certainty, but I'm guessing that these two pieces right here are, you know, very much out of character for like the color palette that this set is in. But they use these as like markers. So like when you're building the set, like these in the instructions, they become sort of a reference point. So that you know you have an anchor in terms of like certain pieces fitting certain ways and stuff like that. It's that's quite common now, but I mean with simpler sets you didn't need that because it was easier. But all right, so we've got another minifigure in here. We've got Taika Waititi's character. I think I can't remember what his name was in the movie, but again, really nice printing on this figure. Very much fits with sort of a Star Wars aesthetic. It's got the sci-fi look and the pouches and the straps and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, there's printing on the armor as well. Then we get, you know, a dual. Oh no, it's just a single. We just get his sort of goofy smiling face. I thought we might get a face on the other side too, but you only get one option, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Then we have the option of helmet or hair. And in this case, I think I'm gonna go helmet. Well, I'll go hair for the time being, and then I can put the helmet on when I display it. He's gonna have this interesting weapon. It's gonna use this spear gun, and I'm gonna build up the weapon here. ASMR videos, do people watch those to go to bed? Like, what's the point of those? I don't understand. I don't understand why those exist. I know that they're like hugely popular, but couldn't tell you why. There he is with his little drill or web. I don't know what that is. I can't remember. I only watched the movie once with my kids. I was probably not paying attention either. I was probably on Facebook or something. Instagram. Totally distracted while they were watching that movie. All right. Let's get back into the build. As I said, I'll try to go as quickly as I can and wrap this up. I've still got 2 bags, so we're going to be here a while, but we'll see. I'll try to go quick. I'm already bored of myself. All right, what are we looking at here? That's the front. That's So how about those G.I. Joes? Okay. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, as you may already know, if you're watching this, I suspect if you're watching this, you probably already know. We'll be doing a show tomorrow, talking about the G.I. Joe reveals. We'll be talking about the Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem figures, and a little bit about that movie as well. We may chat a little bit about Mando too, just because why not? Because we can. So join us for that. It should be a lot more interesting than this, a lot more engaging, that's for sure. All right, let's... Jeremy, fire away. What are your thoughts, man? I'm curious. I'm surprised we haven't chatted about them, but... Once I get this bag done, I'll get into the comments if they're in there. I won't go too deep in it because, as I said, I'm going to be talking about them in depth tomorrow. But I thought they were pretty good. I mean, the wave that they revealed is pretty strong. I mean, it's kind of uneventful to see them now because, you know, with the way that they've done, the way that they've sort of moved to do the, like, name only reveals, followed by, you know, digital render reveals, followed by physical reveals, and sort of pre-order at the time that the figures get revealed. It's I mean, you know what's coming, you can kind of guess. It's so, I mean, it's a little bit boring in that sense, but I think the figures look great, and I ordered all but one of the figures that they put up for pre-order. To find out which one, you'll have to tune in tomorrow. Oh, that didn't go on as well as I thought it did. Every time I put it on wrong, it gets harder to put it on correctly because it doesn't stick quite as well the next time. There we go. That was pretty good. Pretty straight. The big ones give me the most anxiety because if you get them wrong, they're a pain in the butt to reset. The big decals, I mean. Did I say that? That's not right. What have I done wrong? That's gonna go there. Okay, figured out what I did wrong. Telling you, the brick separator. I didn't have this thing. That would have been a pain in the ass to have to fix. So they've done a cool thing. They've hinged the wing so that you can then pin it so that you get the angle, because you wouldn't normally get an angle like that the other way. All right, before I build this second wing, which is just going to be a repeat, I'm going to just check in here. Equip Torpedo, maybe the first G.I. Joe classified figure I buy. He's a very good looking figure, and I say that and you know, the vintage Torpedo is, you know, one of I mean, it's that deco, right? It's that black and gray deco. He came with flippers, a spear gun, and a tiny, pretty nondescript backpack. Definitely not one of those figures that really stands out, you know, on a vintage shelf. But yeah, that classified version looks phenomenal. They did a really, really good job with that design. I agree. And I would say it's, you know, if you just want to dip your toe in, getting a SEAL, I think he's meant to be a Navy SEAL, is a great place to potentially whet your appetite. Jeremy, I know you have thoughts. You always have thoughts. Scrap Iron looks cool, has some great accessories, but I'm a little iffy on only the bad guys are scarred in battle. Don't know much of the Joe lore. Is there a scarred hero Joe? There's guys that have, you know, the odd scar here and there. Snake Eyes is sort of known for being quite disfigured, which is why he wears a mask and also why he can't talk. So it's not entirely the case. They just, apart from I think one issue of the comic book, Snake Eyes basically just never shows his face. But he is scarred. So while it's mostly the bad guys that are scarred, there are, and I think Flint has a scar. I think the classified Stalker has a scar. It's debatable whether it's a hairstyle or a scar. I think it's a scar because of the coloring that they used, but I could be wrong. I don't work for Hasbro, so I don't know the answer, but I think it's a scar. So as far as like, yeah, I mean, they're out there, but you're right that more of the baddies have scars than the Joes, for sure. Rock and Roll's tattoos look phenomenal. I agree. The design looks really, really great. I'll be very curious to see, you know, what they actually look like on the figure once it's delivered. You know, I think they'll probably look good. I'm not really that worried, because at the end of the day, you can always just use acetone and strip them off. But you know, if they work, if they look good, like, yeah, I'm excited for it. The only thing, the hand tattoos kind of rub me the wrong way, but that's just more. So I have plenty of tattoos. It's not a, you know, it's not a thing where, you know, there's no issue for me as far as like people having tattoos, people having hand tattoos. I just think hand tattoos and neck tattoos are just, I just think they're, I was saying before, and I'll probably say it again tomorrow. If you're an athlete, if you're a musician or a tattoo artist, you know, get your neck tattoos, get your hand tattoos, get all those tattoos that will make you unemployable. should the need arise for you to get a job that requires you to like look presentable or whatever. I'm not, I'm not suggesting, times are changing and people can sort of be professional and have those tattoos. I get that. I get it. But I'm just not a fan. So I might acetone off the hand tattoos only. I will keep the arms, but I might strip the hand tattoos. Jeremy says Torpedo is amazing. Yeah, he looks phenomenal, and like there's so many little design details that they did with that figure in terms of like sculpting the backpack to the figure, the flippers being soft, stuff like that. I just think they did very well. I think that figure has been very popular. I think I was talking to Mike from eCollectibles, which is where I buy all my Joes from, and he was saying that that's like the top seller from this wave so far. And I was a little bit surprised because just it feels like a character that I don't think is like wildly popular. But when you do a figure that's that good, I guess it doesn't matter. You can a good figure is a good figure. And somebody like Quip, who's not even into the line, is thinking that like that'll be the figure that finally gets them, kind of thing. So they did something right, you know what I mean? Like I haven't heard anybody say a bad word against that Torpedo figure. And most waves, there's a couple dogs, but this wave is just bangers. Like they're all really good figures. They're all really good, even the one that I didn't buy. I'll keep teasing that because there's one that I didn't buy. Here I was thinking that this was going to take me like an hour. Boy, was I wrong. But we're getting there. Now, because this wing is just a repeat of the other side, it's actually like quicker, right, when you do the second one, because everything's familiar. And you know where it's going to go and how it's going to connect and what it's going to do and all that kind of stuff. So. All right, so this is a new piece that I've never seen before. It's like it's like basically two of these tile type plates stacked but in one piece, and it's hollow. So I have no idea where the Lego is printed on this, and it might not be. There's a couple pieces that don't have printing. I'm just gonna put it on and not worry about it. That's how much it doesn't bother me. All right, so we're just over halfway. Jeez, that seems like that. Oh man. But that's 3 bags done, 2 to go. So I suspect that some of the steps will be a little bit quicker and a little bit more substantial. That is bag number 3 finished. Torpedo reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where he was playing with the G.I. Joe and scuba gear. I've got to get him. You know what? It might have been Torpedo. I can't even remember. Thanks for the info. Yeah, as far as the scars go, yeah, they're there. There's a few of them. Jeremy says, I find it odd that people are army building him. Quip says you could build a whole SEAL team with a simple head swap. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I think that's probably accurate. I think people will probably buy 2 or 3, and then you could have like your SEAL insertion team or whatever it's called. I don't know what the proper term is. Jeremy, you're probably just laughing at me when I say terms that are like G.I. Joe stuff that I think are military, but they're just from a cartoon. Maybe people break these up into like multiple videos. Is that how it works? Do people just do like 1 hour at a time? I don't know. Quip, I could see someone customizing torpedoes to make it SEAL, Shipwreck, or Stinky Diver from Action League now. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the case too. Like where, you could get another scuba diver character by using that Shipwreck. This is a whole lot of random pieces. There's not as many big pieces. They're all smaller pieces now. Which is where it starts getting it can start getting a little slower to build when it's smaller pieces, but we'll power through. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna complete this set, complete this video, whether I want to or not. I'm committed. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna follow through. Like I said, I'll be honest, I did not expect it to take this long, but I guess it's different when I'm just sitting around doing this by myself, and I don't care how long things are taking. I just never realized how long it takes to build a Lego set. But I'm happy to have you guys along for the ride. So I bump the camera and make it impossible to watch. All right, we got another minifigure in here. We'll just quickly put this together. Once I get all the pieces out, of course. All right, so there's this little sh shoulder-mounted bazooka type thing that I got to put together. A whole bunch of like random tiny little pieces. These are always some of the like most fun things to build, because you've got all these tiny little pieces that seem so insignificant on their own, and then you build them all up together and get like a cool little design. So. And a tiny little decal's gonna go on the side. Same printed body for the minifigure as the last one, as the Taika Waititi one. This is of course the elderly lady. Can't remember her name either. An angry face and a happy face on this one. I'm gonna go with the happy face. And she also comes with the option of either doing hair or a helmet. And I'm going to do hair for now. But I will probably end up displaying her with the helmet as well. There she is with her gigantic shoulder cannon thing. Whatever it is. All right, let's get into the build. Bag 4. Go as quick as I can. Trying to avoid bumping the camera, but it happens. Yes, I am laughing at your expense. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. That's what us civilians are here for, is to entertain you guys. All right. Figure out where this is going. Got it. I'm going to leave this comment up because it makes me feel better about this whole process. Powering through. Powering through. I'm getting bored. No, I'm not getting bored. I'm enjoying building this. I just feel like there's something lacking in the entertainment value of this video. Or maybe that's what the entertainment value is. That this is like, you know, it's like Andy Kaufman's comedy, right? Like it's the absurdity of it that makes it entertaining. I'm not suggesting that this is as good as Andy Kaufman's comedy. I'm just, you know. Although I am suggesting that this is absurd. We're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know how the thing that surprises me is that like if people do this right, and I think there's people that like legitimately like their channel is just it's just Lego builds, right? How do they keep the conversation going while they're getting like right into the really like detail oriented stuff with like the tiny little pieces? And I guess it's, you know, it's like anything. You probably just sort of develop that skill as you do it. But man, I keep just like forgetting almost that that you guys are hanging out. Forgive me for that. I usually try to be engaging, charming, and fun. This is none of that. This is a hard one. Just this color doesn't reflect very well. But you gotta line those logos up. You gotta do it. If you've come this far lining them up, you gotta do it. What are you guys doing while you're watching this? You got to be doing something other than just watching this, because this is like, jeez, this is terrible. Or maybe you just stoned. I think maybe that could be it. I think I could do this if I was stoned enough. What, like watch somebody do this if I was stoned enough. I just don't get stoned. I don't get that stoned enough. All right. The final bag. 2 decals left. Well, 3 including the stand. I won't build the stand because I think the stand's whatever. It's not interesting. It's a bunch of Technics pieces that'll all snap together. So I'll finish the ship and then we'll call it done. But Jeremy, I'm rearranging my display figures and giving them new poses. Yeah, there you go. Okay. How often do you do that? How often do you like rearrange everything? I find that like I don't do like a full rearranging very often. I'll have figures that sort of migrate, you know, I'll change the shelf layout, stuff like that. More so than like more so than actually like change the display sort of thing. Most of my figures on the shelf are like pretty vanilla posed because I got too many and there's not room on the shelf to do it any other way. And then when it's like when they come off the shelf and I play with them or whatever, that's when I'll pose them up. But then like to go back on the shelf, they gotta get sort of set back into a vanilla pose. Otherwise, I could not fit them all on the shelf. A lot of these black pieces are going to be for the display, I think. So, oh shit. Oh, we're good. We're fine. Jeremy, I have over 300 figures on display, so it takes a while. Yeah, I could imagine. I don't even know. I've never stopped to like count. I don't know how many figures I have on display. Now I want to count though. Now I want to actually like. I bet I'm right there too. I bet I'm sort of in that ballpark. But what piece am I looking for? There. All right, we're in the home stretch. We're in the final bag. The ship is almost done. And as I said, when the ship is done, I am done. I'm not going to do the display stand today because I'm not going to display this thing yet tonight. I'm going to probably swoosh it around and play with it for a while. All right, so this mounts out there. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm running out of steam. Like I said, I'm getting bored now too. It's now getting to the point where I'm completely doing this wrong. Jeez. That's okay. Easy fix. Easy fix that was. I just was not paying attention. Okay, let's see. Now I've built this. Now, there we go. No. Okay, that's interesting. There we go. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, I'm shocked that anybody's still paying attention. Appreciate it. Almost done. And then there was one. I think it's just you, Jeremy. You at the beginning, you at the end. Or it's somebody else. Oh, okay. This is where it gets like really. This is where I start like losing track of like where things go, because final little detail stuff is so often like, you know, small pieces to sort of cover up bigger pieces, to sort of cover up studs, so on and so forth. So this is where you can lose your mind. I appreciate it, Jeremy. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think it would take this long. Didn't think anybody would pay attention this long. Thought people might kind of stop in and jump out, but like I said, it gave me a reason to build this set, get it done. Which I've been dragging my feet on. It's been sat staring at me on shelf next to me every time I do a video. Every time I unbox something else, it's been right there. So I just thought it was time to get it done. Some really interesting little bits, like those little bits that I put in, like because they're at an angle, like they've done a really great job of finding like angles that work really well, to tidy up like a couple little details. on to the jets. Sergeant Slaughter's house. Jeez, what's going on? How you doing, Zazel? You've joined just in time. The really exciting bit is just about to kick off here. Yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna do another one of these again. It's what's going on? Oh, I see. Looks like it's coming together nicely. It is. It's taken forever, but it is what it is. Great ASMR for us Lego freaks. Yeah, that's. I was sort of saying that, like, there's. I mean, you pretty much do this. When I have TV on or something like that when I'm usually building. I'll have. I'll always have some sort of white noise. So it's weird to be building and be the white noise rather than sort of listening to white noise. But all right, the last two decals for the kit. We'll get the tail fins on, we'll get the windscreen on, and then that's pretty much it. So we're getting there. We're right in the final stretch now. Which I'm thankful for. I'll be happy to be done this dang thing. Oh, the final decal is the one that does me in. Oh, jeez. Apologies. I had kept the essential trimmer at bay up until this one, and then it's like, gotcha, you're not getting away with this one. Oh, there we go. That's fine. Yeah, that'll do. It pretty much matches the other one. That's all that I really care about. So, oh, this lovely lady is not going to want to stand with this gigantic bazooka. That's probably I'll just angle it down so that it keeps it standing up. There we go. There it is. That's the ship. The rest is the stand, like I said, and I'm not going to bother boring people while I put together a stand for this, because that's I mean, you've endured the pain this long. I'm not going to make you sit through that. Yeah, there she is. The XL-15. This is Zazel, this is the Lightyear XL-15 spaceship from the Buzz Lightyear prequel movie, or I don't know how you sort of describe that movie, but it's a great little set. It was a fun build for sure. It looks really good from sort of every angle. They've built texture and they've sort of built shape into the model, and yeah, it's been my undoing tonight. As I said, this was a fun experiment, but I don't know that I'm gonna do another live Lego build on the channel. I'll stick to action figures. They're quick and painless, and I can do two or three figures in less than an hour. Jeremy, shout out for hanging out the whole time. Zazel, great to have you. Anybody that watched, appreciate you guys hanging out, and as I always say, it's always more fun to open toys with friends, even if your friends don't want to stick around because they're bored. Very cool. I collect Western Lego, so it's been a while since I've built a spaceship. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's I used to do the castle stuff and the space stuff, but you did great. Excellent build. Thank you. I mean, I just followed the instructions. It's not that hard. But anyway, that's me done. That's the set done. You know, the minifigures look great. The set looks great. It's been a learning experience. One that I'm not sure I will soon repeat, but thank you all for hanging out, and I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.